But we'll go to the third and final. Well, I guess technically fourth player you want to talk about today, Ewan, is also at Barcelona, and that is Xavi Espart, the young fullback. He comes up obviously through the youth academy. He has played some first team minutes for Barcelona. He's played 6 first team games. He's currently has a market value of €5 million. He's 19 years old, 5'9", right back. He's already made some caps for the Spain under 19 team as well. He's got 10 caps for them. What excites you about Espart?
Versatility. This is you don't want to put any pressure on the young player's shoulders, so I'm not going to do that, but I'll let Hansi Flick do it. He compared, I think it was the tail end of last season, he compared Espart to Philipp Lahm, Germany and Bayern Munich icon. So no small shoes to fill there for the youngster, but I think what Flick was getting at is the fact that he's so technically gifted. He's incredibly mature. You look at him, he's not outstandingly quick, he's not outstandingly strong, but he's just kind of an all-rounder who's very comfortable in possession. And you mentioned being a right back, that is predominantly his best position, but he's also played central midfield in pre-season for Barcelona. He's also played central midfield. He was outstanding in under 19 Euros for Spain earlier this summer in this position. And what I can see happening perhaps is him maybe, he gives you that option where he could start at right back, but if he wants to invert and go to like a 3-man defence or and build up in possession, you push Baldi up on that side. And I can see him doing that role really, really well. Also, they only really have Jules Koundé, again, who's not a natural right back, but he's been really, really good there for Barcelona. So I can see him getting plenty of minutes. I actually believe he'll probably get a lot more minutes than Basiru this season, just due to his flexibility in the position that he plays in. A really good talent, one who I believe that will stay at Barcelona. There's a little bit of talk around the summer about him going on loan, but I now think he will stay there and get minutes this season.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you say that, because if you include Espart alongside Hector Fort and Jules Koundé, they've all three of Flick's right backs have all been kind of linked with departures, haven't they? I mean, Hector Fort, I think, it's very recently been linked with a move to Dortmund on loan because they've moved on their own right back. And Jules Koundé, if I'm not mistaken, has been linked with moves to the Premier League, unless my memory fails me, but I don't think it has. I mean, both those players could stay around. You know, we can't really put too much weight behind speculation, but if Flick is happy with Xavi Espart, then presumably he would maybe be more willing to kind of move on a player. And do you think there's maybe, even if you want to just compare him to Koundé, who presumably will be the first choice right back this season unless things change, do you think he brings a greater degree of flexibility, even though Koundé technically is playing his secondary position and has done for so many years? Do you think he offers something a little different on that right flank to Koundé? And maybe that's why Flick might prefer him this season.
Yeah, completely. He's more of a technical player than Koundé, who's also a great athlete, and Koundé superior defensively, vastly experienced player. He plays for France. He's an exceptional player. But I just think in terms of maybe the traditional Barcelona tiki-taka style, not that Flick is that close to kind of Guardiola in terms of like philosophy, but I think he does fit that as well. And he already shown he can trust him. He came off the bench in both the Champions League, last 16 games against Newcastle last season. So it shows that he trusts him to play in kind of big games, and I think this season is where he could really have his breakthrough and play regular minutes. He had a serious knee injury the season before last, which maybe kind of deprived him of making an impact. Definitely debuting earlier. Hector Fort's an interesting one. You mentioned Dortmund. I think has been linked to the Premier League as well. He's only 1 year older than Espart, but what I can envisage happening is, Espart, Flick called him a top player in pre-season. So what I could envisage happening is maybe Fort goes out, whether that's a permanent deal for buyback or a loan deal with an option to buy, and Espart maybe steps up and takes his role, and that would allow maybe Barca to bring some money in and just kind of natural succession in that position. But who knows? I could well be wrong. I have been there many times before.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it this season, that's for sure. He's got a market value of €5 million as we speak, before Barcelona's first game of the season, only 19 years old. And as is often the case, things can change so quickly over the course of a season. And, we might be talking about him as Barcelona's breakthrough defensive talent and they've had a few of those in recent years. So, it wouldn't be a huge surprise to anyone. But if you are interested in keeping an eye on these players, you can shortlist them on Transfermarkt. But you can also head to the La Liga Market Value Forum and discuss their market values ahead of the next market value update in La Liga. But before you do all that, head to Transfermarkt and read Ewan's article on the 10 wonder kids not at Barcelona and Real Madrid. And then once you've done that and you've listened to this segment, you'll be all set for La Liga, and you'll be able to tell your mates in the pub every time one of these kids shows up on TV that you know exactly who they are.